Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. A massive, monumental shift is happening right now in the global tech world. Today, we are exploring just how India has become the world's most critical frontier for data centers, and what this tidal wave of investment could mean for its digital future. Okay, so to really get this story, you first have to understand the sheer amount of money we're talking about. The scale of the investment pouring into India is so huge, it really brings up one very big question. The numbers are just mind-boggling. We're talking about a combined commitment of over $70 billion. And that's just from the biggest players. This isn't just another investment. It's a once-in-a-generation bet on the future of digital India. So who's leading the charge? Well, it's Amazon. They've committed a colossal $35 billion through 2030. And a huge piece of that pie, we're talking almost $13 billion, is going straight into expanding their AWS data centers in key states like Telangana and Maharashtra. Right on their heels is Microsoft. Get this, they are making their single biggest investment in all of Asia, right here in India. Their $20.5 billion plan is all about building up the next wave of cloud and, this is the important part, AI infrastructure. And of course, Google is not about to be left behind. They're making their own massive play, dropping $15 billion to build a gigantic, gigawatt-scale AI campus in Visakhapatnam. This is set to be their largest facility of its kind anywhere outside of the US. So you have to be asking, why? Why all this money all at once? Well, this gold rush isn't just happening by accident. It's the result of a perfect storm, a powerful mix of huge market demand and some very clever government strategy. You can really think of it as a 1-2 punch. On one side, you've got the market push. India has an absolutely massive and growing digital economy that's creating mountains and mountains of data every single day. And on the other side, you've got the policy pull, where the government is essentially rolling out the red carpet with new laws and incredible financial incentives. Now, a really key part of that policy pull is this idea of data localization. India's Data Protection Act, the DPDP Act, strongly encourages companies to keep Indian user data right here, inside the country. So for these big global tech firms, it's just become the safest and smartest option to build data centers locally to stay on the right side of the law. And when I say red carpet, I mean they are really sweetening the deal. Just look at this list. A 20-year tax holiday, tax credits, special infrastructure status to make getting loans easier, plus even more subsidies from the states on land and electricity. It's a package that's almost impossible to refuse. And this chart right here, this shows you exactly what the opportunity is. India is generating around a fifth of all the data in the world, which is incredible, but it only has the local capacity to store about 3% of it. That huge gap between how much data we create and how much we can store, well, that's the multi-billion-dollar gold rush. So with this perfect storm of market need and government incentives, the floodgates have just burst wide open. What we're seeing now is nothing short of an investment tsunami from both the global giants and our own domestic powerhouses. Let's take a quick look at who's placing these bets. What's so interesting is that you see two different strategies. You have the global players, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, targeting very specific regions. And at the same time, you have domestic giants like Reliance and the Tata Group making these massive pan-India plays, both aiming for a gigawatt of capacity. All of this money and activity is literally redrawing the digital map of India. Cities like Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, and now Visakhapatnam are quickly becoming the new nerve centers, the new hearts of the country's entire digital economy. But a boom this big and this fast never comes without some serious growing pains. This kind of rapid expansion creates a really high-stakes situation, huge gains on one side, but some pretty severe consequences on the other. It's a classic double-edged sword, really. On the one hand, you have this incredible economic boom. It's creating jobs and opportunities in real estate, construction, and the whole tech scene. But on the flip side, these data centers put a massive strain on our country's most essential resources, especially the power grid and our water supplies. So who exactly is using all this new space? Well, it's pretty much everyone. The big cloud providers are, of course, the biggest tenants, taking up almost half the capacity. But there's also huge demand coming from banking, finance, IT, telecom, and our absolutely booming e-commerce industry. Now, the single biggest challenge, without a doubt, is power. These new AI-ready data centers are incredibly thirsty for electricity. The demand is projected to jump 5 times by 2030. At that point, data centers alone could be using up to 3% of India's total electricity. That's a huge number. And this isn't some problem for the distant future. Energy experts are sounding the alarm right now. They're warning that if we don't upgrade our power grid fast enough to handle this, the consequences could be really severe. We're talking about the very real risk of major blackouts. All of this brings India to a really critical crossroads for its digital future. The path forward is going to require a very delicate balancing act between our ambition and the need for sustainability. At the end of the day, putting up the buildings for these data centers is actually the easy part. The real test, the real challenge, is going to be powering them and sustaining them for the long haul. India's success in this whole digital revolution really depends on solving these huge infrastructure problems. So it all comes down to this one single defining question. And the answer is going to shape not just the future of India's tech industry, but the path of our entire economy for the next decade. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more such interesting content. The race is definitely on, and the whole world is watching to see if India can pull it off.